If we look at the global figures of coronavirus cases, I would say that the strategic picture and the strategic equation between countries is fluid, and it cannot be said that which way it is swinging. Today, yes, there is no doubt that US is an epicenter and so is Europe. And China seems to be relatively happy by putting out figures which actually show that China has controlled the coronavirus. But as a strategic analyst, I would doubt those figures very much. For the simple reason that Chinese narrative has been suspicious right from the word go. There is no doubt that it started in Wuhan. So from creator, they've gone in to say that they were the victims, and thereafter they became the fighters, and now they are trying to pose to become saviors of the world by trying to reignite the health silk route, or shall we say the health diplomacy. Now this is a well thought out plan, but the fact is how much Chinese have suffered, no one knows. And I can comfortably say that the number of deaths which they are putting out and the period which they took to lock down Wuhan, they certainly don't match. And there is a fair amount of suspicion. And a communist regime, that is the CCP regime, is also trying to sell the narrative that perhaps in an authoritarian country or in a country with the communist characteristics or with the characteristics of China can handle it better. That also doesn't hold ground for the reason because Taiwan has done much better than them in controlling coronavirus. Secondly, these are the countries where not only the number of cases but even the number of deaths can be hidden. And therefore, how many have died also is not a certainty. So under these circumstances, I would have my doubts if the kind of health package which China is giving out to the entire world and trying to play the role of a savior or perhaps a future global leader whom everybody should follow, I don't think that is going to be the right decision or perhaps the right thinking, because the world is moving towards democracy. It's not that there are certain people or there are certain countries which are having a rough time, and their recovery rate is also, like in Spain, the recovery rate is fairly good, although they have lost far too many people and far too many have been affected. But at some point of time, I'm sure this epidemic or pandemic will be contained, and thereafter a new global order will emerge. And in that global order, it's not necessarily that people will follow China, for the simple reason because the anti-China sentiments are also quite grave, and China, with whatever it has done, having pushed the entire world into almost a paralysis state, is also going to buy the anger of China. Today, UN is silent and most of the countries are silent, not because that the anger is not there, but the reason is saving the lives of their own people and abruptly stopping the Chinese supply chain. It doesn't suit any country, and therefore perhaps most of the countries are quiet. But whether this equation will remain the same, I don't think that would be a valid decision. And therefore, I would put it this way, that we will still have to wait and see as to how the strategic equation will turn with a wild card entry of coronavirus. Thank you.